Welcome back to Afternoon Live. As we've all watched the devastation of the California wildfires this past week, we have ached for the people and animals who've been affected. Joining us now with insights about what's happening with the displaced animals and how you can protect your own pets in emergencies, we welcome back veterinarian, our friend, Dr. Cherice Roth. I'm so happy to see you.
Same.
Because you just happened to be in Southern California as this began to unfold.
Yes.
So we're glad you're safe.
Me too.
But you saw some scary stuff.
Yeah.
And we have some helpful hints for us should disaster strike.
Yeah, and I think the key is to just know that it can happen and be prepared for it. It's the best you can do.
Something will happen that you don't plan for, right?
Hopefully it's not a fire, but there's going to be something where you have to leave where you are.
So what's happening that we know of in terms of animals who are displaced right now from wildfires, or maybe animals that were in shelters already? What should we know about?
Yeah, so look, the shelter community is incredible and a tight-knit community. So the goal is always to evacuate those animals if they're in an area that's been impacted to other shelters. It's actually one of the reasons why they started to waive like adoption fees so that they could clear space to bring in some of these displaced animals. And of course, in the areas that are impacted, some people either can't or don't evacuate with their pets and just kind of let them go. And my heart goes out to those animals because it's terrifying. And then the other piece of it, we talk about pets, and most of the time people are thinking companion animals, which is not just dogs and cats. You're talking horses. So you can see a equestrian center down in LA doing a fantastic job of supporting those families and getting those animals out as well.
Do animals tend to flee sometimes if they feel like something is coming? I feel like they have that sixth sense that we don't understand in terms of natural disasters sometimes. Yeah,
they certainly do. I mean, and they're clever, right? They're built for survival, and especially in areas that have these things happen. Maybe not at this scale, but they have learned the signs, the signals. 100-mile-an-hour winds, I'm going to hunker down or run away anyway. And it's the same for them, that the fight or flight is real, and the third is freeze, and so sometimes they hide, and that's a lot of the reasons why some animals don't get out.
Okay, and then if you do, evacuate and do everything right, are there certain things that, I imagine it's stressful for the animals too, right? Just for us, and are there things, trauma that can kind of linger after the fact for our pets?
Look, even rabbits show brain chemistry changes associated with PTSD. So we know that these animals are feeling this just as much, if not more than we are. Their senses are higher than ours. They smell better, they see better, they hear better. They're experiencing this at such a higher level that just can't verbalize it all the time. So they absolutely can be traumatized from this. And during evacuations, having things that are familiar to them, taking them with you if you can, all help to mitigate some of that, but you just can't escape it.
That makes a lot of sense when you just think about their senses being so heightened. That must be really, really scary. Okay, let's talk about what we can do to be best prepared ourselves and our animals. We always talk about microchips.
I was going to ask you, are you sick of me telling people to update their microchip information?
Such a good reminder, though.
But it impacts so many aspects of animals' lives. When we cannot get them back home. So double checking, triple checking, quarterly checking. Anytime something life event-wise happens, check that microchip information so that if they do get lost, run away, taken, we can try our best to get them back to you.
What's the best way to start with that? Do you call up your vet?
You can, usually if you've been issued a microchip for your pet, there's usually a piece of paper associated with that visit that has the company that serves the chip and the microchip number. The other piece of important information to also have a picture of your pet, because you can often upload that into their site as well.
Oh, that helps so much. Okay, what about training, things that we should think about for an emergency situation?
Sit, stay, come. Are not just nice to haves. They save animals' lives. That if you can train them and they are comfortable with that command, a lot of times they will tune out whatever is happening because they already know the command. Ones that you cannot call, making sure that they are leashed or in a carrier is going to be really, really important. But training them to be comfortable in whatever situation you're going to try to evacuate them. So that means having your carrier just sitting around. Don't keep your carrier out in the garage somewhere where they see it and know something bad's about to happen. Keep that carrier open. feed them in it, put toys in it so that they're really comfortable with that environment. That's all part of that training.
And that's part of your evacuation plan, right? Knowing what you're going to do with your pet when the time comes.
Absolutely, yes. Make that plan beforehand. Don't try to make it up as it happens.
Yeah, okay. Travel, you mentioned travel carrier, and then identify pet-friendly shelter options should you need shelter.
Yeah, and the goal is to look for 50 to 100 miles away.
Okay.
Because that's hour and a
Makes
half
sense,
drive.
yeah.
Because if it's going to be a local impact, obviously this is much more than 100 miles that's dealing with that, but it
Yeah.
gives you a chance to have a place that you know that you can get to and will accept your animals once you get there.
Yeah, that's so
the key.
important. Okay, and then what about emergency kits for pets specifically?
I love this because this is so empowering. Okay, making sure you have a copy of your pet's medical records, especially if they have complicated medical conditions.
Yeah.
Making sure you have at least a week's worth of medications.
Okay.
And what I tell people when you come and get that refill, put a week aside. Use that week that's in your emergency kit. That way it doesn't expire.
Perfect.
Being sure that you have a photo. All of those things are very important. First aid kits, kitty litter, food, all
Yeah.
of those things can go into that pack. So again, the goal is it's just ready to go.
Yep, grab and go at a moment's
Yes.
notice.
Yes,
Well, it's nice
absolutely.
to see you. Thank you so much.
pleasure. Yeah.
Great stuff.
Next time it'll be happier.
We'll see you again soon.
Yes.
It'll be great. All right, we'll have more information on our website at ka2.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.